In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can switch from Boss Theme to the new BuddyBoss Platform running our new BuddyBoss Theme. As I'll explain more later in the video, the BuddyBoss Platform is a replacement for BuddyPress, and the BuddyBoss Theme would be a replacement for Boss Theme. This tutorial is really aimed at customers who are already using Boss Theme on their websites and they want to make the switch. And you guys are really in for a treat here. This new product we've developed, we've been working on this for multiple years, so we've created something that is really beautiful for your customers and easy for them to use, has a much better and expanded social experience out of the box, and we've completely overhauled the backend experience to make it easier for you to manage your site. Just to give you a sneak peek of where we'll be in a few minutes, if I go to activity, this activity index is going to look like this, with really nice media experience, and this members directory is going to look like this. Groups directory is going to look like this. If I go to forums, currently looks like this. It's going to be like this. And let me take you into the inbox. So currently we got this little drop down, and if I go into it, the message inbox looks like this. And in a moment, you'll have this drop down, and your message inbox is going to look like this. Super nice and modern. And these design updates permeate everywhere. Even, for example, WooCommerce, the shopping experience is like this on Boss Theme. And over here, we show all the stuff in your cart in this nice little drop down, and I can click checkout, and the experience is really nice. Basically, every aspect of your community is going to be dramatically improved. All right, with that, let's get started with the migration. So what I've done here is I ran our one-click installer on my local computer. So the site that I'm going to migrate is an exact replica of what you guys start with if you use our one-click installer. And I'm just going to go step by step and show you how to transition everything. I'll start by going in here into the back end. And so here we have all the plugins that come with the one-click installer. And I've also gone ahead and added some extra plugins that don't come with it, but that we sell and you guys might be using. So for example, BuddyBoss Wall, BuddyBoss Media. There are some third-party plugins like BuddyPress Follow and user switching. A lot of people like to use this to be able to switch between their users when testing. I've added a bunch of these other plugins so I can show you how they migrate. I'm going to go through all of this, show how we can convert everything to the new BuddyBoss platform. And it's going to take a little bit of work, but it's not too hard. In about 10 minutes, we'll be mostly done. And what you're about to see is that the amount of plugins that we have on the site is about to be reduced pretty dramatically. Now, before I actually start going through the steps, one big word of warning is that if you have a live website, you really need to take a backup before proceeding with these next steps. We're about to make some major changes to your website, to the plugin stack, and just to be totally safe, you really want to have a backup. And also, before we get started, you should visit the front end and go to your forums, open up a forum, and go into a topic, and just take note of the topic slug. Most likely it's going to say topic before each forum topic. Just take a note of what this says before we switch. This is going to be relevant a little bit later in the video. All right, so to get started, the first step is just to disable a bunch of plugins that we no longer need. So BBPress, no longer need it. BuddyPress Profile Search, don't need it. BuddyPress Remove Profile Links, don't need that. BuddyBoss Media, BuddyBoss One-Click Installer, we don't need. BuddyBoss Products Updater, don't need that. BuddyBoss Wall, don't need that. BuddyPress, don't need it. BuddyPress Docs we'll leave for now. BuddyPress Follow, don't need that. BuddyPress Global Search, member types, we don't need that. Invite anyone, don't need that. User switching, we don't need either. So let's go ahead and disable all of these. So you might be wondering at this point, how and why are we removing more than half the plugins here? And the reason is that we've actually taken over BuddyPress and modified it, and we call our version of BuddyPress the BuddyBoss Platform. It's much easier to use, much more expanded in terms of its default functionality, and it's really tailored for you guys based on the feedback you've given us over the years. And because we own the plugin now, we can do whatever we want, and we no longer need all these peripheral plugins. The reason all these plugins exist is because BuddyPress itself is an open source project that we never owned, and while we're involved in the BuddyPress community, we have fairly limited influence on what features they add and what decisions they make. And so in order to give you guys the functionality that you ask for, we've had to make all these peripheral plugins that kind of extend BuddyPress. So actually what you're about to see is that the whole product stack now from us is just one plugin and one theme. And then of course you might need to add LearnDash and WooCommerce and other big third-party plugins, but the BuddyBoss product stack is now just 2 files. And if you have any concern about switching from an open source project like BuddyPress to a proprietary project like BuddyBoss Platform, no need to worry. BuddyBoss Platform itself is open source too, and our intent actually is to give it away for free and grow it, and for it to be popular in its own right. This is our way of giving back to the BuddyPress community. We've made our own variant of BuddyPress that is a lot more feature rich and easier to use, and we're giving it away. Anyone can use it, anyone can build their own themes on it, and it's a fully free open source project. So we've deactivated all these plugins, and we're now going to add our BuddyBoss platform. So in the plugins area, just click Add New, and then Upload, and we're going to grab our plugin file. So when you purchase the new product, you should have been given a zip file called BuddyBoss Platform plugin.zip. Just select that and add it. Click Install, and then activate. And after you activate it, you'll get this friendly pop-up that shows you some of the new features that are in the platform. You can read this on your own. And then we see this error message at the top. You can ignore this right now. This is going to go away in a bit. So let's go to Appearance Themes. And of course we need to switch the theme. So we're going to click Add New, and then click Upload Theme, choose File. And when you purchase the new product, you should have also gotten BuddyBoss Theme.zip. This is your main theme. So let's click that, and we'll click Install now. And then activate. And I would recommend adding one more thing, which is our child theme. So I said our product is just 2 files, the theme and the plugin. That's true. There's a third file, the child theme, which I'd also recommend if you plan on doing any custom development. And that's the case with any theme in WordPress, including the boss way of doing things. If you want to make any edits to your theme, you're going to want to add them into the child theme. And that way, anytime we release an update to the main theme, your edits are not lost. They're retained in the child theme. So let's go ahead and add the child theme too. In themes, we can click Add New, Upload. And when you purchase the product, you should have also gotten BuddyBoss Theme child.zip. This is your child theme. So we're going to click that, Install now, and then activate. And just like that, we've already made some progress. Let's check out the front end. We can see our members directory is looking in the new style. Groups is in the new style. Groups are looking pretty cool. And our activity is in the new style. So there's still some more steps, but we're already making progress. Let's go ahead and resolve all these errors. These 2 are just coming from WooCommerce. These are generic errors unrelated to our product. Now, this one, the license for BuddyBoss Theme is invalid or incomplete. So we're going to want to go ahead and add our license key. We're going to go to our license manager and add a license key for a BuddyBoss Theme. It's very important that you do this because the BuddyBoss platform and the BuddyBoss theme are designed to fit together like a glove. And as we update the BuddyBoss platform with new features, we're always going to be updating the theme to style those new features so everything works great. So you want your license key so you have access to updates. And also, if you want to interact with our customer support, you need a valid license key. When you purchase the product, you get an email that contains your license key. You can go ahead and add that here, and then add your account email here and click Update License, and that will work. Or you can also use this Connect to BuddyBoss, which is going to do it automatically. I'm going to go ahead and use this. If you're not already logged into buddyboss.com, it will ask you to log in. Then it says BuddyBoss wants to access your purchase history. So I'm going to click Allow. This is going to take a moment. It's basically retrieving your license key data from BuddyBoss to see if you've purchased this product. And it says, congratulations, license keys for the following products have been activated. BuddyBoss theme. So I'll click OK. The page refreshes and it's got my license key in here and it's marked green now, showing that the license key is indeed verified. All right, so now we need to go ahead and re-enable a bunch of features that have changed. So if I go in the back end, you'll notice that you have this menu BuddyBoss, and all of the features of our new platform are in here, both for the plugin and the theme. There are no options or menus for this product that are outside of this menu panel. So you might recall that we disabled BBPress. BBPress is what was powering your forum software before. Same story as BuddyPress. It's an open source project. They haven't made any major updates to it in years, and it's really lacking in terms of how a forum should look and behave. So we forked BBPress and merged it into the platform and made it a native component. So all we have to do here is activate the forum discussions component. And now our forums are back. So if I go on the front end and click on forums, we can see all our forums are back. If I go to groups and open up a group, If that group ever had a forum in it, now the forum is back at the discussions tab. And we can open up one of the discussions. And everything is working fine, except now the forums look awesome. One very important thing to note is the URL. So I mentioned before to take note that the slug up here probably said topic before. So in our platform, we've renamed topics in BBPress to discussions. Whenever we talk to customers, they always refer to them as discussions, and that seems more intuitive. But as a consequence, the URL has changed here, and that's really bad for your SEO. So let me go to the back end, and we're gonna wanna fix that. Basically, if this is a brand new site, it makes sense to switch the slug, but on an existing site, you have all these URLs, you don't want them to suddenly change. So I can go into BuddyBoss settings, and now we see that forums is in our integrated settings area. And we're gonna scroll down to forum slugs, and we're gonna switch discussion to topic, discussion tag to topic tag, and save this. And then it's very important after that you go into settings, permalinks, and just click save. And now things should work. So if I come back to the forum and open this again, it's gonna be forum/topic. So this is very important to maintain your existing SEO. Note that in a future release, we're going to remove this step so that when you switch, it will map this slug automatically from what you had before. So depending on when you watch this video, you may or may not have to do this step, but just make sure you cross-check it and that it's the correct slug. All right, next we're going to import media. Let's go back to BuddyBoss components, and you'll see we have a media component. Now, this is only relevant if you were using our BuddyBoss media plugin previously. Well, it's relevant if you want to have media. I'm going to show you how to configure it, but it's relevant to this specific tutorial in terms of migrating your old media from that plugin. So let's go ahead and activate the media component. And now we see this warning. We have found some media uploaded from the BuddyBoss media plugin, which is not compatible with BuddyBoss Platform, as it has its own media component. You should import the media into Platform and then remove the media plugin. So let's click Import Media. Import your existing member photo uploads. Click Run Migration to migrate. So we're going to click Run Migration. So that happened really quickly. Now, we only had 10 albums and 45 images. So obviously, if your site has thousands of images, it might take a little longer. But the media is done, and we can go into Settings, Media. And from here, we can configure all the different media options. For example, adding photos and albums to profiles and groups, adding photos to messages and forums. We also have support for emoji and GIFs. I go over this in other tutorials. Let's check on the front end that it worked. So there's no photos link here, but let me refresh. And now we have our photos link. So I can scroll down and see all my photos I've ever uploaded. And I can go to albums. And these are the albums I had previously with their photos. And there's also the photos URL, which contains all photos that have ever been uploaded to the site by any member. So let's keep going. If we come back here into plugins, we have this plugin, BuddyPress Global Search, which we no longer need to use. This plugin allows for a live search of everything in your social network. We've merged this plugin into Platform and improved upon it greatly. So if I come back to BuddyBoss components, we're now calling this network search. Let's activate network search. And then we can go to settings, search. So you're starting to get the theme here that all of the functionality you could ever need in your social network is all in one unified admin experience now. And here we have all our options for search. So I'm just going to turn it all on so that we can actually get some results. And then let's refresh the site. And I can do a search for Timothy. And he shows up right away. Or I could do another search for, say, the. So we get a lot of results. I can click View All. And here's all the results in this nice UI. And we can drill down by type, like groups, members, etc. So that fast we have our network search back. All right, let's go back into plugins. So we have BuddyBoss Wall, which adds, among other things, likes functionality, and BuddyBoss Follow, which adds the ability to follow other users. These are really easy to reconfigure. Just go to BuddyBoss Settings, Activity, and all we have to do is turn on Follow, and now the users can follow each other. And if you turn on likes, they can like each other. And link previews was in Wall. You could turn that on as well. And like that, all those are reconfigured. And then one more thing I'll show you if we come back to plugins. I mentioned a plugin, BuddyBoss Member Types. This allows you to configure different types of members on the site, and they can all have different profile fields and things like that. We've merged this type of functionality and improved upon it into the platform as well. So if I go to BuddyBoss Settings and then go to Profiles, from here we can enable profile types. It's the same thing as member types. We just renamed it because everything related to profiles is using profile in the option name, so it just seems more consistent. So if you enable that, then I can go into profiles, and from here I can manage all my profile types. And on that note, I should also show you that if I go into settings, groups, that we've also given you group types and group hierarchies. So we're almost done here. I just want to show you some more options here. If I go into plugins, we have user switching, which allows you to switch between users. You don't need this anymore. If I go back to the front end and go to the members directory, I could click on, let's say, Timothy, and just click View As. And now I'm logged in as Timothy. I can come back to the members directory and click on Julie, View As. And now I'm logged in as Julie. At any moment, I can click Switch back to admin, and I'm logged back in as myself. And of course, this is only available to admins. When you're setting up and managing a community site, this type of functionality is absolutely essential for you. That really needed to be merged in and built properly within the plugin, and now it is. All right, I'm gonna show you one more piece of functionality, and then we're gonna continue with the migration tasks. There's a little bit of cleanup we're gonna wanna do at the end here. So if we come back to plugins, we also have Invite Anyone. I'm bringing this up because this was in our demo that's in the one-click installer. This allows your users to invite other users into the network. So we have a much better solution for that. If you come back to BuddyBoss Components, you can just enable email invites, allow members to send email invitations to non-members to join. So I'll turn that on. Now let's refresh. And I can go here and click email invites. And from here, I can invite people into the network. So I can type in their name, type in their email. I can invite up to 5 at a time. I can override the text of the email and click send invites. And then at any moment, I can go into sent invites. And here I'll see all the people I've invited and whether or not they've actually accepted the invite. That user will get an email with a link that they can click to come register for the network. And even as a site admin, we know what's going on. So I can come back here now and come to invites. And if there has ever been any action, we would see which user, in this case, John, sent the invite, who the recipient was, what date they're invited, and whether or not they accepted the invite and joined the network. All right, so now that we've reconfigured most everything, let's go ahead and do some cleanup. If I come to BuddyBoss Themes, so I no longer need Boss Theme. Optionally, I can delete it if I want to. Now, I would recommend keeping your child theme around for the moment. It's possible that you've had some custom development done in the child theme and you don't want to lose that. Of course, that's not going to work because we've switched themes, so you'll have to port that. We'll talk more about that later at the end of the tutorial. And then let's go into plugins and delete all the plugins we're no longer using. So bbPress, we don't need to remove profile links. We don't need BuddyBoss Media. We've already migrated that. We don't need one-click installer. I'll come back to that in a moment. Product updater, we don't really need that even. The theme itself has the same license key system in there and can check for everything. We don't need the wall. We don't need BuddyPress. We've already replaced all that. We don't need BP follow, global search, member types. We've replaced all that. Invite anyone, user switch. All this can go away. All right, so all these things were deleted. Let me refresh. One-click installer is what you guys used when you originally bought Boss Theme, possibly if you cloned our demo. Obviously, you don't need that because you already have an existing site, but I still want to show you how we're handling this now if you were to set up a brand new site. The reason we use this system is because there were so many plugins to make everything work together. It was confusing for people to configure it all. But now there's really no need for this because our whole plugin stack is just one plugin and one theme. So it's very easy to set things up on a fresh site. And if you want some default data, you can always go to BuddyBoss Tools. And from here, you can check all these options and import default members, profile fields, activity, messages, groups, forums, all kinds of stuff. It'll just create a bunch of default data for you. And at any moment you can click this and it'll erase it with no damage to your database. So that's our new way of doing all this. So we can come back to plugins, and now we can delete this as well. And then we have this plugin BuddyBoss Profile Search, which some of you may be using. What this does is it allows you to search members by their profile fields on the members directory. So if I go back into BuddyBoss settings, you go to profiles, we can just check a box now to enable profile search. And then if I go into profiles, profile search, from here I can configure it. So let's say I want to search by name and also by last name. I'll click update. This is just pulling from profile fields that exist. And if I come back to the members directory, we have our search. And the reason we merged this plugin in is because, for one thing, we think it's really important for people to be able to search members. Almost every client asks for this. So we want it to be really easy to enable that. And then also we are modifying this quite a bit. So for example, we have repeater fields, meaning you can have a profile field repeat a bunch of times. Like for example, a bunch of job histories. And then we let you put that single field in the search result and it'll scan across all the repeaters. We're also creating other custom profile fields in the network, and we want to make sure all those are revealed within the search. So we can come back to plugins and delete that as well. And now you can see we've deleted almost every plugin we had. Now that we've deleted all the plugins we're not using anymore, we also want to repair some data through the network. So let's go to BuddyBoss Tools and click on Repair Community. We've switched to a whole new platform. We want to make sure that all our data is proper. So you're going to want to run every one of these tools. Depending on your server, it may not be able to handle all of them. So you should do them in batches. Go to Repair Forums and do the same. So you get the idea. On your own, you can check each one of these and repair. That's important so that all the data in the network is working properly. All right, let's pause for a moment and look at our inbox. I want to bring up some differences here. So obviously it looks substantially nicer, but it's not just the look. Functionally, it's a little bit different as well. In the BuddyBoss way of doing things, every message has both a subject and content. So it's more like Gmail, where I send you a message, you reply, and then if you want to talk to me again, you send a fresh message. Whereas in BuddyBoss Platform, with every user, you have a kind of never-ending thread, much more similar to Facebook or LinkedIn or WhatsApp or really any modern social network. So all the past conversations you've had with your users are tied together. If you've had multiple different conversations in the old system, then they will be separated. But going forward, whenever you click on someone's profile, let's say I click on John here and click message, it's always going to throw me back into our most recent conversation. So it'll all get tied together. You can see when I click compose, it's just content. There's no subject. We've taken care to make sure that this is backwards compatible. All your data, obviously you can see here, works. And having these threaded conversations has a lot of advantages. It creates a much more streamlined and intuitive user interface. And in the future, it will allow us to do things like possibly have a live chat box here that syncs with the messages, have a really nice messaging system within our mobile apps, and other things that wouldn't have been possible with a Gmail style interface. All right, so I'm going to touch on a couple more things, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to wrap it up by talking about what to do with your custom development if you've had any done. So if we come into the back end here and we go to plugins, you see we still have a few we haven't really touched on. So WooCommerce, within our theme, WooCommerce is handled really beautifully. If I go to the shop, let's say add this to my cart, and I'll add this to my cart. And we have this nice drop down with the cart. I can click view checkout. So this all works beautifully. Then here we have BuddyBoss Docs. This is a plugin for adding documents to your groups. I'm showing this because it's in our old demo, and so within the one-click installer, you might have gotten this. Within the new theme, the plugin functionally works fine. BuddyBoss Platform is backwards compatible with any BuddyBoss plugin, but to be honest, it doesn't look that beautiful. We haven't put a lot of work into it. We're building our own docs component that's going to allow docs to be uploaded into groups in a much nicer and more intuitive way. Something that feels more similar to Dropbox or Google Drive. It's a lot cooler. That's not ready yet. I don't know exactly when it will be, but in the future, that's going to be the main solution within our system. For now, if you're using this, you can keep using it. It works fine. And And then page builder by site origin. If you cloned our one-click demo, that's what's going to add the content to the home page. So that content's still here, the plugin is working, but we're not really supporting that in our theme. What we found from our customers is that in the last couple of years, everyone's moved to other page builders. By far the most common ones are Gutenberg, Elementor, and Cornerstone. So I would recommend that you switch to one of those more modern page builders, or you can keep using this one, it works fine. But if you use Elementor, for example, it's a lot more powerful and we're supporting it and everything's gonna look a lot nicer. And then one thing I kind of forgot to show you is re-adding our buddy panel. So if I come back to appearance menus and go to buddy panel, all we have to do is re-add that to buddy panel. And that's all working fine. And if we want to put some icons in here, let's go back to menus. I can open up one of these, and now our system for adding icons is much easier. So I could use this icon, for example. That's automatically added. We have a bunch of different icon sets we support. We even support images to upload your own custom icon. And then coming back here, we have Paid Memberships Pro. If you're using that, it still works fine. If I come here to membership pricing, we can see that this is all working just fine. Although within the theme, the plugin that we've put most attention into for doing paid memberships is MemberPress. Most of our customers we found are using that, so that's what we're really supporting the most. In time, we might come back and put some extra work into styling Paid Memberships Pro more. So that's basically everything excluding custom development, which I'll get to in a moment. And this whole tutorial has taken about 30 minutes thus far, which may seem like a long time, but at the same time, we've just removed about 10 plugins and switched from BuddyPress and BBPress to a whole new core platform, and switched your theme and reconfigured everything in that time. And probably 20 minutes of that was just me explaining everything to you. So if you need any help doing this, feel free to contact our team. And we are offering a done-for-you solution where you can pay us and we'll migrate and reconfigure everything for you. You don't really have to do anything. And then the one other thing I want to talk about, which is pretty important, is custom development. This went off without a hitch. Everything was pretty smooth here doing this migration. But this is the default demo with no custom development in it. So if you've done customizations that add some complexity, for example, if your customizations are in your child theme, well, obviously you've just switched child themes, so they're gone. And those customizations are customizing the boss theme. So when you switch to a different theme, that doesn't really make any sense anymore, right? So you might need to redo them or move them. And maybe you've had custom plugins built. I mean, who knows? It's WordPress, who knows what you've done in here? So there is always the possibility that some of those customizations have to be redone or moved in some way. Again, if you need our help doing that, we have a big team of developers. We're happy to help you with it, part of the transition as well.